In the midst of a global crisis, the USS Alabama receives an unconfirmed order to launch its nuclear missiles, signaling the start of World War III. In the face of the ultimate nuclear showdown, one man has absolute power, and one man will do anything to stop him. In post-Soviet Russia, as a result of the prolonged battle in Chechnya, civil war breaks out. Military soldiers loyal to Vladimir Redchenko, a Russian ultranationalist rebel, seize control of a nuclear missile facility and threaten nuclear war if confronted. The USS Alabama, a ballistic missile submarine of the U.S. Navy, is sent on patrol with orders to launch a preemptive nuclear strike if Redchenko fuels his missiles. Captain Ramsey, a combat-hardened veteran, takes command and appoints Lieutenant Commander Hunter, who has an extensive education in military history and tactics but no combat experience, as his new XO. Ramsey's decision to authorize a missile drill in the midst of the chaos caused by a galley fire that kills the chief mess officer escalates tensions between him and the analytical and cautious Hunter. Hunter helps fight the fire and privately questions the decision, but is argued by Ramsey for showing concern. Alabama receives an emergency action message ordering a missile launch against the Russian base. As Alabama prepares to fire, a second radio message is detected before a rebel Russian Akula-class submarine attacks, damaging the ship's radio and leaving the message incomplete. Ramsey decides to proceed because the last known instruction was to launch. Hunter disagrees, believing the partial second message may be a retraction. When Hunter refuses to consent as is required,
You won't, sir.
You're relieved of your position. Cobb, remove Mr. Hunter from the control room.
Release of nuclear weapons, we cannot launch our missiles unless both you and I agree.
USS Alabama,
Regulations
I order you!
08.
Captain, please, the XO is right. We can't launch unless he concurs.
Captain, I relieve you of your command of this ship. Chief of the boat, Captain Ramsey's under arrest. Lock him in his stateroom.
Captain.
Now, Cobb!
Aye, sir.
the crew's loyalty is divided between Hunter and Ramsey, but the chief of the boat sides with Hunter and has Ramsey relieved of command and confined to his stateroom, putting Hunter in charge. The Russian submarine attacks Alabama again. The American vessel emerges victorious but is hit by a torpedo. The main propulsion system is disabled, and the bilge bay begins flooding. As the crew tries to restore propulsion, Hunter orders the sealing of the bilge with sailors trapped inside, saving the ship at the expense of the men. Just before the submarine reaches hull-crush depth, propulsion is restored. Officers and crew loyal to Ramsey unite and retake the control room, imprisoning Hunter, the chief of the boat, and a few others in the officers' mess. Repairs to the radio continue, but Ramsey is determined to proceed without waiting for verification. Hunter escapes his arrest and stages a second revolt. He gains the support of weapons officer Peter in the missile control room, further delaying the launch and leading Ramsey to proceed to missile control. Hunter's party storms the ship's command center, removing the captain's missile key. Ramsey and his men return, resulting in an armed Mexican standoff. With news that the radio will soon be repaired, Ramsey and Hunter agree to wait until the deadline for a preemptive missile launch to be effective. Communications are restored, revealing the full message from the second transmission, a retraction ordering that the missile launch be aborted because Redchenko's rebellion has been quelled.
This is the captain. Terminate launch, all missiles.
Ramsey turns the con over to Hunter and returns to his cabin. The two men are put before a tribunal at Naval Station Pearl Harbor to answer for their actions. The tribunal concluded that both men were right and wrong, and Hunter's actions were deemed lawfully justified and in the best interests of the U.S. Thanks to Ramsey's personal recommendation, the tribunal to grant Hunter command of his own sub, while Ramsey was allowed to retire with full honors. Outside, Hunter meets with Ramsey to express his gratitude, while Ramsey admits to Hunter that he was right, as the two men part ways peacefully. A closing title card states that as of January 1996, authority to launch nuclear missiles is no longer within the power of a U.S. nuclear submarine captain, but rather the President of the United States. The end. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more movie recaps, and thanks for watching.